I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and imagine what it would feel like to achieve anything you want. Picture it. Imagine the satisfaction, the freedom, the fulfillment of living life on your terms. Now open your eyes, because I'm here to tell you that this isn't just some dream, it can be your reality. But it all begins with one foundational step: raising your standards. We all have dreams, but the difference between those who live their dreams and those who keep dreaming is the level of standards they hold for themselves. So let's get into it. How do you raise your standards to the point that you become unstoppable, a force of nature moving toward exactly what you want? But commitment to excellence requires discipline and resilience. There will be days when it's tough, days when you don't feel motivated, and days when you feel like cutting corners. Excellence is not about pushing for 100% every day, but about choosing to be consistent, to get back up, and to keep aiming higher even when it's hard. It's about honoring your own word to yourself, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. This discipline to stay committed strengthens your character and builds your resilience. Each time you choose excellence over comfort, you're reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving extraordinary things. Committing to excellence also means constantly learning and evolving. Excellence isn't static, it's a journey, a constant pursuit. This means being open to feedback, willing to try new things, and humble enough to recognize where you can improve. It's about surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and help you grow. It's about investing in yourself, whether through education, skill development, or self-care, because you know that excellence requires energy, focus, and balance. And remember, excellence doesn't mean perfection. It's about striving to do the best you can with what you have, where you are. It's about looking for opportunities to improve, pushing yourself just a little further each day, and finding joy in the process. Excellence becomes a part of who you are, a reflection of your commitment to yourself and the world around you. So when you commit to personal excellence, you're not just making a choice for today, you're making a decision that will shape your future, that will inspire others, and that will lead you toward a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. When you raise your standards, you're setting a higher baseline for what you expect from yourself. But raising your standards alone isn't enough to see lasting change. You need to create habits that support those standards. Habits are the structure that holds your new standards in place. They make your goals and desires actionable, transforming big ideas into small, repeatable actions that move you closer to the life you want to live. Creating new habits starts with understanding that habits are like building blocks. When you think about a high-performing person or someone who seems to have everything in order, what you're really seeing is the accumulation of small, consistent actions that reflect their commitment to excellence. They've set standards, and then they've created habits that align with those standards. These habits aren't just temporary fixes or things they do once in a while. They are integrated into the very fabric of their daily routine. Your habits should reflect your new standards at every level. Start by identifying areas where you want to see improvement or growth. Maybe it's in your health, productivity, finances, or relationships. Then design specific daily actions that will reinforce those standards. If you've set a standard to become physically fit, create a habit of exercising daily, even if it's just a small amount. If your standard is financial security, start a habit of budgeting or tracking your expenses each day. The key is to make these habits consistent and straightforward, something you can commit to without fail. This way, you're not relying on willpower or motivation, you're embedding actions that serve you automatically. One of the most powerful aspects of habits is that they compound over time. When you're consistent, even small actions add up to substantial results. Think of it like compound interest. At first, the effort may seem minimal, but as you repeat it day in and day out, you'll start to see exponential returns on your investment. New habits, once formed, begin to operate on autopilot, taking less conscious effort and becoming part of your natural routine. And when your habits align with your standards, you're constantly moving in the direction of your goals without even realizing it. But creating habits that support higher standards isn't just about repetition, it's also about intention. A habit formed without intention is just a routine. A habit formed with intention is a strategy. For each habit you commit to, understand why it matters to your bigger picture. Knowing the reason behind your habit strengthens your resolve, especially when challenges arise.
If the habit of waking up early aligns with your standard of productivity, remind yourself how this time allows you to plan, set priorities, or focus on personal growth before the day begins.
This purpose fuels your commitment and reminds you that every time you follow through, you're honoring a higher version of yourself.
The challenge with creating new habits is that change can be uncomfortable. Our brains are wired to prefer familiar routines, even if those routines don't serve us. That's why it's crucial to start with small, manageable actions that allow you to ease into the change without overwhelming yourself. Take it one step at a time and gradually build up to more demanding habits. Over time, these new behaviors become embedded in your routine, and the discomfort fades as they become part of who you are. Accountability is also essential when creating habits that support your standards. Track your progress, set reminders, and celebrate small wins along the way. Every time you complete a habit, you reinforce your commitment to your standards and prove to yourself that you're capable of achieving them. If possible, get an accountability partner or join a community that values similar standards. The support and encouragement of others can be invaluable as you form habits that may initially feel challenging. Building habits to support your standards is an investment in your future self. Each new habit you create brings you closer to living the life you desire. These habits act as a foundation, stabilizing your standards and ensuring they don't fall by the wayside when life gets busy or difficult. They become part of who you are and how you navigate the world, strengthening your discipline and fostering resilience. Ultimately, when you have habits aligned with your standards, you're empowered to achieve more, reach further, and live with the integrity of someone who not only knows what they want, but takes daily action to achieve it. Taking consistent action toward your standards is where the real transformation happens. You can raise your standards, set powerful goals, and create new habits, but if you don't take steady, committed action, those standards remain ideas instead of realities. Consistent action is what bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, turning your vision into something tangible. It's the ultimate demonstration of your commitment to yourself and your aspirations. Consistency means showing up every single day, not just on the days when you feel motivated or inspired. It's easy to work toward your goals when the energy is high, but true progress happens when you push through on the days that feel difficult, uninspiring, or even impossible. Every time you take action, especially on days when you don't want to, you're training your mind and body to meet the new standard you've set. Each small action, each daily commitment strengthens your discipline and builds momentum that keeps you moving forward, even when challenges arise.
The key to taking consistent action lies in focusing on small, manageable steps. High standards can sometimes feel daunting, but breaking them down into actionable steps makes them more achievable.
For instance, if your standard is to be a top performer in your field, then consistent action might look like dedicating 30 minutes a day to developing your skills or networking. When you take small, steady steps, you're creating a sustainable path to success, one that doesn't rely on major bursts of effort or unpredictable motivation. This way, consistency becomes natural and achievable, no matter the circumstances. It's also about quality. When you take action, put your full effort into it, however small the task may be. Quality matters because it reflects the respect you have for your goals and the standards you've set. Half-hearted action isn't true consistency, it's going through the motions. Committing to high-quality action means being fully present in each step you take and taking pride in your work. This builds a sense of integrity and self-respect, and over time, it results in powerful progress. To maintain consistent action, you also need to be adaptable. Life will inevitably throw curveballs and your circumstances will change. The path may not always be straightforward, but that doesn't mean you can't keep moving forward. If something isn't working, reassess and adjust. Maybe the steps need to be smaller, the strategy needs tweaking, or you need a new approach altogether. What matters is that you stay flexible and committed, continuously adjusting but never losing sight of the standards you've set. One powerful way to ensure you take consistent action is to track your progress. Whether it's through journaling, using a planner, or digital tools, tracking allows you to see how far you've come, which keeps you motivated and focused.
Each action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger picture, and seeing that growth builds momentum. Progress tracking also gives you the chance to celebrate small wins along the way.
Celebrating your progress reinforces your commitment and reminds you that you're capable of achieving your goals through sustained effort.
Accountability is another important factor in maintaining consistency. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to uphold your standards. This could be a friend, a mentor, a coach, or a group of like-minded individuals. Accountability helps keep you on track and offers support during moments of doubt or fatigue. Having people around you who believe in your vision can be a powerful motivator and provide a safety net on days when you need an extra push. Ultimately, consistent action is about creating a lifestyle that aligns with your standards. It's about making choices every day that bring you closer to your goals, knowing that each action compounds over time.
This steady commitment shapes your identity and transforms you into the person who lives at the level you aspire to. Taking consistent action toward your standards is the difference between dreaming and achieving.
It's where real growth, real transformation, and real success are born.
In the end, raising your standards is about creating a life that reflects your true potential, where every choice, habit, and action is aligned with the person you're determined to become. It's about moving beyond the limitations of shoulds and embracing the power of musts.
Turning vague desires into clear, non-negotiable commitments. When you define what you truly want, commit to personal excellence, establish habits that reinforce your standards, and take consistent, meaningful action, you begin to build a foundation that cannot be shaken.
This journey is not always easy, and it demands resilience, discipline, and accountability. But with each step you take, you're not just reaching for a goal, you're transforming your entire way of being.
You're creating a version of yourself who doesn't settle, who doesn't shrink from challenges, and who lives life on purpose. So as you leave here today, remember every moment is an opportunity to choose higher standards and act on them. Stay committed, stay consistent, and watch as you achieve not just what you want, but far beyond anything you thought possible. This is your life to design, make it extraordinary. The first step in raising your standards is knowing what you truly want, not what others think you should want, but what speaks to you. When you can define your desires clearly, they'll fuel your fire. Without that clarity, it's like trying to build a house on sand. You'll lack the foundation you need to stay strong and motivated. It's easy to say, I should work harder or I should be healthier, but let's get real here, it doesn't move the needle. When you say, I must succeed, I must take action, that's when your standards shift. Because when something is a must, you'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. That's the power of raising your standards. Here's a key truth: excellence isn't a destination, it's a habit. To elevate your standards, you have to commit to personal excellence in everything you do. Even the small tasks, the ones you think don't matter, commit to doing them well, because how you do anything is how you do everything. When excellence becomes your standard, your life will follow suit. Most people don't achieve what they want because they're trapped by their limiting beliefs. I'm not smart enough, I'm not wealthy enough, I don't have the right connections. Let me tell you something, every single one of those beliefs is a lie. When you raise your standards, you become the kind of person who says, if it's out there, I can have it. It's not enough to say, I'm going to raise my standards, you have to live in alignment with them. Set habits and daily rituals that embody the person you want to be. If you want to be fit, prioritize fitness. If you want to be successful in business, structure your day like a successful person. Habits are the fuel that make your standards sustainable. The people you surround yourself with will either raise you up or pull you down. If you want to raise your standards, get around people who challenge you to be better, who inspire you, who see the greatness in you. Energy is contagious, so choose wisely. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns standards into achievements. It's not enough to want something once or work for it now and then. Raising your standards means taking consistent, aligned action every day, no matter how big or small.
Every step you take brings you closer to becoming the person who deserves what you desire.
Now take a moment and ask yourself, what standards am I living by right now? And are those standards good enough to get me what I want? If the answer is no, then it's time to raise them. You have the power to shift your life, to reach for that higher version of yourself. Step into that vision and make it your reality. Because once you raise your standards, there's nothing that can stand in your way. So go out there and claim the life that's meant for you. When we talk about getting anything we want in life, the starting point is getting profoundly clear on what we truly desire. It's not enough to have vague wishes or fleeting thoughts of it would be nice if real transformation, real success starts with an unwavering vision. This clarity isn't just about knowing what you want, it's about connecting deeply to the core reasons you want it. Think about it when, down to your bones, while you're pursuing something, that reason becomes your fuel. It's what you turn to when things get tough, when the odds are against you, and when obstacles feel overwhelming. The truth is, most people never take the time to genuinely define what they want in life. They settle for broad ideas or goals, often borrowed from others what society tells them they should want, or what family, friends, or media imply is the right path. They might chase after a promotion, financial security, a relationship, or physical health, but without that deep personal connection to the outcome, those desires lack the magnetism needed to pull them forward. To truly define what you want, you need to ask yourself a series of powerful questions. What brings you alive? What is it that, when you think about it, ignites a spark within? What would make you feel deeply fulfilled, proud, or accomplished? Strip away all the shoulds and expectations. Think about the life you would build if there were no limits, no fear, no judgment, no boundaries. When you allow yourself to dream with that level of freedom, you begin to uncover what genuinely speaks to your heart and soul. Once you've identified that desire, go even deeper. Ask yourself, why do I want this? Because if your goal is simply to achieve something for recognition or validation, it won't hold up when challenges arise. But if your goal comes from a place of passion, curiosity, or purpose, that's where you'll find the resilience to keep going. Maybe you want financial freedom because you envision a life where you can provide security and joy for your family, or you want to master a skill because it will help you contribute something meaningful to the world. Whatever the reason, let it connect to something authentic within you. And defining what you want doesn't stop at just acknowledging it once. You need to visualize it, feel it, and anchor it in your mind and heart. Imagine it vividly, seeing yourself already in that state of success, tasting it, hearing it, experiencing it fully. Every day, remind yourself of that vision. When it becomes that real, it will start to influence your choices, shape your standards, and give you the focus to take powerful action in the right direction. Defining what you truly want is the difference between a dream and a vision. A dream is something you wish could happen. A vision is something you see as possible, even inevitable. It's a commitment to the life you know you're meant to live. So get clear on it, connect deeply to it, and let that clarity be the anchor that guides every decision you make from here on out. When you tell yourself, I should do this or I should be better at that, it's a half-hearted statement. Should doesn't inspire you to take action. It's a weak commitment, should. Leaves room for negotiation, and the truth is that's where most dreams get lost in the gap between what we know we should do and what we actually do. If you truly want to raise your standards, you have to turn those shoulds into musts. What does it mean to say something is a must? A must isn't negotiable. A must is a line drawn in the sand. It's a declaration that says, this is no longer optional, this is my new baseline. When something is a must, it becomes part of who you are and how you live. It becomes the minimum you accept from yourself. Imagine the way your life would transform if you approached your health, your career, your relationships with the mentality of this must happen, and I will make it happen. Suddenly, you're not just trying to fit things in around other priorities or waiting for motivation to strike, you're fully committed. Motivation may come and go, but a must drives you to take consistent action no matter what. Shifting from should to must also forces you to confront your own excuses, because should leaves you a convenient out. It lets you say, I wanted to, or it just wasn't the right time. A must doesn't allow for that flexibility. When something becomes a must, there's no room for blame or hesitation. You stop relying on circumstances to align and start shaping your own path. It requires radical responsibility. When you set a standard as a must, you don't wait for the right time, the right mood, or even the right resources. You make it happen with what you have, starting from where you are. The shift also redefines your identity. When you live with a standard of must, it means you're making a promise to yourself. Think about the self-respect that comes from keeping that promise. Each time you uphold a must, you reinforce a belief in your own capability, resilience, and integrity. You start seeing yourself as the kind of person who shows up, who follows through, and who doesn't accept excuses from themselves. This deep self-trust is priceless. It's the foundation that lets you build the life you want with confidence. Consider every major transformation in your life so far. I bet it didn't come from something you should have done. It came from something you told yourself you had to do. You went beyond the easy route, maybe even beyond what felt comfortable or possible, and you made it a reality because it was a must. When you operate from this level, you're unstoppable. This shift is where the real growth happens, where you break free from limitations and step into a life of true commitment. So ask yourself, what have I been treating as a should that actually needs to be a must? Look at the areas where you're holding back and decide right now to raise your standard. Make the choice that aligns with your vision, make it non-negotiable, and transform it into a commitment you're willing to uphold every day, no matter what. Because when you shift your standards to the level of must, you're not just pursuing a goal, you're defining a new reality. When we talk about commitment to personal excellence, we're talking about a lifestyle shift, a dedication that goes beyond short-term effort. Excellence isn't something you dip into when it's convenient or when it's easy. It's a commitment to consistently show up as your best self, regardless of the circumstances. Excellence means taking pride in how you approach every area of your life, from the smallest tasks to the most significant challenges. It's about saying, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability every single time. Commitment to personal excellence starts with your mindset. You have to believe that you are worthy of more and capable of more, no matter where you're starting from. This commitment isn't about competing with others. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, one that is driven by your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. Excellence isn't perfection. It's about putting in the effort to continually improve, to learn, to grow. It's about showing up every day with a mindset of, how can I do this better than yesterday? When you commit to personal excellence, you start to recognize that every action, every decision, and every choice adds up to shape the kind of life you lead. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you hold yourself to a standard of excellence, it shows in all areas of your life. Whether it's in your career, relationships, health, or personal growth, excellence creates a ripple effect that raises the quality of everything you touch. You start to set higher goals for yourself, seek better solutions, and find more fulfillment in even the simplest tasks. A commitment to personal excellence also brings a sense of fulfillment and purpose, because you're no longer just going through the motions, you're living with intention. When you give your best, you experience the satisfaction that comes from knowing you've honored your potential, respected your own standards, and added value to everything you do. Excellence fuels self-respect, confidence, and an unshakable belief in your own abilities. It also influences the way others see and treat you, because people recognize and respect someone who genuinely values their work and their word.